Up with KREM begins now.
Here we go, 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. We want to get right to weather with our meteorologist, Thomas Patrick. Thomas, we're under a weather impact alert. What's going on?
Yeah, so we're tracking a windstorm, and this might be one of our most significant weather events that we get all of 2025. And I do compare that to any heat waves or other winter storms that we've had throughout the years. Certainly hadn't had any bad severe thunderstorms back in the spring. So today's and tonight's weather event is all about the winds. And at 70 miles per hour, that makes it a significant windstorm. That means damage and power outages are likely. So do whatever you need to do to stay safe in the evening, because these high wind warnings kick in at 10 o'clock tonight and last through Wednesday. This is really more of a Wednesday early morning event. So tonight, tomorrow morning is when we get these strongest wind speeds. Again, 60, 70 miles per hour is absolutely no joke. You want to make sure that you are prepared and taking any precautions to stay safe during a windstorm like this. So today, everything just slowly ramps up. It's a little breezy right now. Winds increase in the afternoon, and it creates a feverish pitch tonight with the high winds and the rain entering the region pretty late this evening, like 8 to 10 o'clock is when we'll really start to feel the effects of those high winds.
Thank you, Thomas. Looking at traffic now, we actually have a crash on I-90 right near Arthur heading westbound. You can see the left two lanes there of the freeway completely blocked as crews are working to get it cleared. This here is the backup on I-90 westbound. This is again right near Arthur, and you can see extending very far here. On our traffic maps, it looks like it's going all the way back into the east central area. We're looking at our maps, and they're basically explaining that this started about 5:42 this morning, and there's a chance that this backup lasts until about 7:45. So if you're heading out the door, know that westbound I-90 just before downtown, there is going to be some decent backup. Well, this here is video we got this morning of crews working on a water main break near the hospital district. It's at South Brown Street and West 7th. Crews were able to shut off water to fix the break. Yesterday, there was another water main break along South Washington. We're not sure if those two were connected at this point.
This morning, detours from yesterday's water main break are still in effect. You can see the water just pouring onto the roads here. The city put up detours for people to avoid the situation. Right now, the city says those detours are still in place this morning. Here's a look at the detour. If this is a part of your morning commute, you can take Bernard to 6 to then get on to Washington. We are working to find out how long these detours will last.
Back to our wind coverage for tonight. We want to make sure we're securing any loose items outside of our homes.
KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones helping you and your family get ready. So Brandon, how can we prepare for these conditions? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim, Nicole. Well, this is the time, and just a reminder ultimately to let you know that we can prepare in a small capacity, at least for some unpredictable winds. It was actually this time last year, this exact same week, where we saw several trees and power lines down across Spokane. So what you're going to take a look at is some video from December 18th and 19th of 2024. Again, you see some of those downed trees, some of those detours that people had to make, but with another wave of strong gusts expected. What you can do in terms of preparation, start by securing those loose outdoor items like Tim and Nicole mentioned. Think lawn chairs, umbrellas, anything you think has potential to fly away. These kind of strong winds knock out power, so make sure you have an emergency kit packed and ready to go as well. This is something that's also helpful to have in the event of a snowstorm, but blankets, batteries, food, flashlights, and any other essentials your family may need. Again, these are just some reminders. Of course, we'll continue to track all of these windy conditions over the next 24 to 48 hours. You can find the latest information on KREM.com. But for now, live here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
This morning, Libby, Montana is under a flash flood watch. The National Weather Service issued the watch as crews work to reduce pressure on a damaged dam. Heavy rain damaged the Lower Flower Creek Diversion Dam last week. Engineers are now releasing water to ease pressure on the dam and reduce the risk of an uncontrolled breach. Officials say the release will continue through tomorrow afternoon, and people in the area should stay alert and be prepared.
Some breaking news this morning out of Western Washington. About 30 minutes south of Seattle near Pacific, there are go now evacuation orders. A levee failed along the White River and now there is a flash flood warning. The National Weather Service says a HESCO barrier failed and now more than 2,100 people are having to evacuate. Meantime, people near Tukwila are able to go back home this morning. Late last night, the National Weather Service ended the flash flood warning and evacuation orders along the Green River.
You are looking at videos showing the water levels yesterday. It was so bad you can see it wiped away some land and made roadways unsafe to drive. Though some evacuees can now return home, officials are warning people to be on standby in case the weather gets worse. And breaking overnight, one person has died after driving into floodwaters in western Washington. It's the first known death connected to the record flooding. Around 1:30 this morning, police responded to a car in the water southwest of Snohomish on the edge of the floodplain. Fire officials shared a photo showing just how deep the water is, which is well away from the river itself. A rescue swimmer pulled a person from the car and began CPR. Unfortunately, the person did not survive. Swimmers checked the car and did not find anyone else.
Here's your Christmas tree. You wanted a Christmas tree? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Out in Leavenworth, last week's storm knocked out power, downed trees, crushed cars, and damaged homes. Some people were without power for 2 days. And to make things even worse, Highway 2 had to close. That cut off a major route into town and made it harder for cleanup crews to get in.
A bunch of smashed cars throughout the residential area, and you'll see tons of houses that were damaged by tree falls.
As of right now, this weekend, the lights and festivities downtown are back on, but things could change depending on the weather.
The time now is 6:07. Right now, a man is now facing 2 federal murder charges after investigators say he killed his fiancée and her son. It happened last week in Nespelem on the Colville Reservation. Tribal police saying the suspect called 911 himself and admitted to the murders. Court documents show the suspect, Damian Todd Martinez Jr., called and confessed he had stabbed Laura Dick and her 17-year-old son. The Grand Coulee Dam School District confirms grief counselors were on hand at Lake Roosevelt High School for students and staff. The superintendent described how students are honoring their former classmate.
He is very resilient. He liked to be outside, very social butterfly with the students. There was a whole class in there, and they were making memory rocks for him. And so they were painting, they were drawing pictures of him.
The school district says school will be closed tomorrow so the community can attend the celebration of life and funeral.
3 inmates overdosed yesterday at the Spokane County Jail. Sadly, 2 of them died. A medical response team tried to save the 2 inmates who died, and we know for sure one of them at least was given Narcan. The 3rd inmate, a woman, survived and should be okay. All 3 inmates were on different floors of the jail. At this point, the jail has not said what the inmates overdosed on. They say they are investigating what happened. The county says, though, they have administered Narcan 38 times in the jail just this year, and 35 people have had to go to the hospital.